All right, this is Clint from the doorway too, hanging out with Braun from Crop. Man, how the hell you doing this Sunday morning or Sunday
Man,
afternoon for you?
yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good, dude. Just got done with a little band practice.
Cool,
Uh,
cool. Yeah. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, what you do, and we'll go from there.
yeah, well, I'm Braun. I play bass in the band Crop. Do a lot of other things for Crop. I'm kind of the band dad. I book, I manage. I do merch. I'm the merch guy. I'm a part-time driver. Yeah, man. Yeah, I wear a lot of hats. We all write the music, it's collectively our thing, but I'm the person that's like, gets to do all the fun back end stuff that nobody else wants to do. I actually think it's fun, honestly. I have no problem with it. It kind of scratches all my ADHD itches and keeps me busy. So
Makes sense. I did the same thing for 10 years when I was on the road with my band. I was the tour manager. I was the guy that got paid. I was the merch guy. I was the driver 90% of the time. So I get it, man. Like, sometimes it's just good to have one guy that knows the shit and knows how to do it and doesn't have to worry. The rest of the band doesn't have to worry about it. Yeah, no, very awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of a control freak that way. I want it.
I get no good, man. So we're like-minded folks, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good interview then. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is I listened to both the EP and the brand new record, and there's not a lot of differences to me, but like I said, it seems like overall there's a strong love of a couple of bands that I love. And I don't know if they're bands that you love or you've even heard.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna say, like, first of all, I hear huge Melvins love. Okay. The next thing I hear is I hear a lot of kind of, I don't know if you know the band Tad from Seattle, but I get a lot of that kind of vibe, and then a lot of early Caius when I listen to you guys when you play. So I don't know if you like any of those bands, hate those bands. So
I've had a hard time getting into the Melvins.
Okay.
Personally, I don't know if I'm just like, they got like 1,000 albums, right? Yeah. Like, it's just like I don't know where to start. I've tried multiple times. I've not heard Tad. I'm gonna listen to that after this. Because I like finding bands that people think that us remind of them, and I've not heard them yet. We got a Paul comparison, the band Paul from the 90s. And I just kind of went on.
I hear that. No, I hear Paul too, definitely, especially in the vocal style. So
yeah, and I'd never heard Paul before, so I went and past few days I've been listening to Paul, and I was like, "Fucking, this is great, dude!" Like,
highly underrated band.
There was another one. Oh man, Sugarfoot. Yeah, we had a Sugarfoot reference. And I like that, never heard of Sugarfoot. So I was like, well, I got to listen to this band. And I was like, these are two 90s bands that like I really dig now. So it's kind of cool. So I'm stoked to hear what Tad sounds like.
So Tad was on Sub Pop back in the early days. But the best way I can explain it is imagine like a noisy grunge rock band that loved Black Sabbath.
That's us right there. That is us.
So that's what Tad is. And Tad is like a 380-pound huge frontman singer. So like he's ominous looking.
I love that too. I love Big Boy. And as far as Caius goes, man, I kind of feel the same way about Caius as I do the Melvins. It's never really been my cup of tea. I like it. Now, I love John Garcia.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. So
I love John Garcia. I'm a big Hermano fan. I'm a huge Hermano fan. So like, I think Caius might just be a little too artsy for me, and Queens is kind of a little too
non-heavy for you.
It doesn't hit me for me. I like stuff that's not heavy. Like, I listen to a lot of things. Like, I'm not just the guy that's like, obviously I love Conan. I love Primitive Man. I love Weed Eater. I love Bongzilla. Like, I love all of that stuff. But I also listen to like S.G. Goodman and Sefton Stevens. And I listen to a lot of things. I listen to like old country. I listen to like all kinds of stuff. I listen and there's some new artists that I like too in the kind of country world. But I think that's where, like, we're from Kentucky, so like a lot of that Appalachian music's just kind of born and bred into us.
It's funny. It's funny that you're saying stuff like this because these are interview questions that are to come up. So like I think
yeah. Okay, I won't ruin it for you. Yeah.
I think it's all we're on the same like wavelength right now. So cool. No, awesome. So I'm just gonna make a suggestion. Bluey Porch Treatment by Melvins. If you have not heard that record, that is the one you need to listen to.
Did you say Louis Porch Treatments?
Gluey, like
Gluey.
like glue. Yeah, Gluey Portrait. It's their first proper album. If you listen to that, you are going to hear Crop. And I'm not even joking. Like, you're going to be like, I know we never heard this record, but we are kindred spirits. So
watch this. See, I'm
there you go.
Yeah. But then I'm going to pause it. So now it's in
there you go.
Yeah, like as soon as we're done, I'm going to like, I'll put it on, listen to it.
I think you will love that record. It is very much in the spirit of what you do. So
yeah, hell yeah.
Cool.
I love that because like I've had people try to do that with Kais with me because like I've got so many friends that just like they're such desert rock guys. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, I play with this band called Farrier Ring a lot, and they're really good. They're on King Volume. They're doing a tour with Castle Rat like soon.
Okay.
And they're like really big desert rock guys, and they're like we're sitting there talking, hanging out, and like I drink, they don't drink, but like, you know, I'm drinking, they're not. We're sitting there hanging out, and they're like trying to like, hey man, listen to this, and I'm just like, God, it's so boring to me. And like, that's just to me. I understand why people love it. Like, I just personally like, it just doesn't hit the itch, you know.
Fair.
But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that like as I've gotten older that I really enjoy. So maybe it's something in a couple of years that it'll click, and I'll be like, oh, that's why you like this, you know. Yeah. There's been a lot of this like because even like the whole doom genre in general, like, I mean, when I was younger, there was some adjacent bands I listened to, but like, I've always listened to Sabbath. Like I've always listened to like 80s Ozzy and stuff like that. But like, I think it took me turning 30 to like really just like, oh man, this slow, heavy stuff. Like I want to do this, man. This is cool. Like this is real cool. And the moment that happened was the first time I saw Conan live.
Nice.
First time, me and the guitarist Zach from Crop. This was like 2016 or so. It was this tour, whatever dates on the back of this tour shirt. We were in Lexington, Kentucky, and they came through and played. And from the first note, I was like, oh my God, we looked at each other and we're like, dude, we need to be in a heavy band. Like we need to start a band. And that was around the same time, like we were hanging out. Me and Mark were starting to hang out. I've been playing with the same drummer for like 15 years. It's not fair to another rhythm section because me and Andrew's been locked in with each other for 15 years. So like, I mean, it's not like we had to relearn a style or anything. Like, I mean, me and that dude's been playing in bands for as long as we can remember. Cool. So going into Crop, it was just a natural, like, he started playing, I started playing. They're like, oh shit, this is going to come easy. And it's like, yeah, I don't think it's going to be too hard for us to run around, guys. Like,
nice. Very cool. So the next question I'm gonna kind of, it's more of a kind of back and forth between you and I. I hate the term stoner rock. Okay. I think it's the stupidest goddamn term on earth. It doesn't describe anything about the music that anybody plays.
I don't hate the term stoner rock, especially when you're talking about bands like Weed Eater, but they're more sludge. Yeah. I feel like stoner rock is the cop out for people that don't want to be called dad rock.
Okay.
Because like dad rock is very butt rock adjacent. Nobody wants to being that. It's like, bro, I'll be butt rock all day. I don't care. Like, I don't care what label you want to put on it. To me, Crop's a rock and roll band, man. We're just we're four dudes writing rock music. We are on the heavier side of the rock spectrum, but that just comes from like influences and what we want to sound like, you know, and like what we want to do and how we want to play it. But yeah, man, stoner rock's like, I don't know, man. There's so many bands and like even like in that stoner rock or in the doom or in that whole spectrum of bands, and like, man, you've got like prog rock bands, you've got like, like you got rock and roll bands, you've got like crusty bands, you've got like funky stuff, like you've done all this other, and it's just like I feel like that's the generic term that we can all get lumped into to be like, oh, you guys don't have a lot of monthly listeners on Spotify.
No, it's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Well, I was gonna say you guys mix it so many different elements, like doom, crust, blues, grunge, like it's all this stuff kind of mixed together. How do you describe your band to people? Like it's got to be more than just rock, because if you say rock, people are going to think Deep Purple. People are going to think Led Zeppelin, and I would not call you that.
So I'm kind of an asshole. So it just depends on the person I'm talking to. So like we were on a tour, and like we were like 4 or 5 days into a tour, and like we're really tired. It's the morning. We had a 6-hour, 7-hour drive ahead of us. So we like stopped at a Cracker Barrel, and we had to get some food.
Yeah.
And there's this like older guy wearing like one of those like louder than life, big, huge monstrosity festival shirts. And he's like, are you guys in a band? What's your band sound like? And I was like, man, you like Five Finger Death Punch? We sound just like them, dude. And like, so like, I'm just going to say shit like that. Cause I like 9 times out of 10, after I talk to them, they're going to go listen to us. Like, and they'll find us and they'll message us on YouTube or something, some random, I never check messages. And it'd be like, hey man, I met you guys at a Cracker Barrel, or I met you in Holiday World. You're about to ride a roller coaster, and we were in line with you, and you're talking about your band. So like I'll say dumb stuff like that. To me, we're very we're more grunge than anything. And I feel like we're very 90s Seattle sub pop, like adjacent, which just got a more modern touch because of our other influences. Also, gear's different. Like, I mean, pedals are different. Like, everything's a little different. You can't, and like, I don't want to just sound like somebody else. So, like, to us, we're just trying to like be original and be our own thing. And it's really rare for a band to try to do that nowadays and pull it off. And I feel like, you know, the first album, we kind of, we established that. And then going into this new one, like, we kind of had more of an idea of what we wanted to be. And we just kept pushing forward with it and kept pushing forward for the sound we wanted. Because, like, in reality, we're writing these songs for us. Nice. We're writing the music because this is music we want to hear that we don't feel like somebody else is doing. So,
cool. No, awesome. So next question is, I love how the guitars and bass meld into each other. Yeah. All right. Like it's dirty, it's fuzzy, it's sinister, but yet your drummer seems to hold everything in line. Like it never lets you get out of place. So could you kind of talk about like how that works together, that dichotomy of like the chaos of the bass and the guitars, but yet the drum kind of holds the glue together? So
I kind of look at it different than that. I think the bass is what holds it together. Okay. So Andrew's drum style is very like he's a left-handed drummer, but he plays on a right-handed kit. So he's very tom work. He's very like open. To me, it's like kind of gospel choppy. Okay. It's like reminiscence of like the more palatable songs by like the Mars Volta and stuff like that. It's kind of like his drum style that I hear when I hear him play just by himself. So when I approach playing with him where he's more open, I try to lay back and stay with his tom work and stay with his kick and let him just do his thing. And then Zach's really good about like he's a rhythm guitarist, but he also is doing leads at the same time. And like anything you hear on the album, that's what he plays live. Gotcha. So like all the little notey stuff, all the little whispery stuff, and honestly, like Zach's biggest influence is probably Creed, like just in that kind of guitar work. And then like he kind of grew up in the metalcore scene.
Sure.
He was in a band called Beyond the Shore, and they were like on Metal Blade Records, and they toured a lot and stuff like that. And I just knew when we got this group of guys together that it was going to be something completely different because none of us had the same kind of vibes. And when we started playing together, it was just like, it just kind of like, I mean, I think Rotten might have been one of the first songs we wrote. And that's off the first EP. And it was just like, I had an idea for a really dumb bass line. And I was like, it's so simple. Like, it's so simple. Like, you're going to get bored playing it. And then when we started playing it, it was just like, this is kind of like, You know,
you are stealing all my questions before I can ask them. It's great, man. I love it. This is great. No, it's very cool. So I just kind of wanted to say, like, I see it in a very different light, but in a kind of a similar manner. And I kind of want to say it back to you. Like, I think you lead the band because you kind of guide, the bass guides where the music goes. Where I think the drummer pulls you back when chaos starts to happen.
Yes,
like
sure.
you start playing like crazy bass lines, and I hear it like, okay, slow it down a little bit and let the singer kind of get into it. And I love it. So that's why I say you lead it more.
I try to give Mark a lot of room. Like, I don't want to overplay. Like, I mean, I played in a lot of post-rock stuff, and I played in some proggy bands, and like musically, like, my skill level is a lot higher than I achieve for in Crop. So and it's kind of cool because like it gives me freedom to like act like an idiot live. You know, so like, and we all kind of feel that way because we've all been in more technical stuff. Like, we've all played in projects that are way more technical than what Crop is. But there is an element to where, like, the way it meshes together, there's some times where I'm like, okay, this is the part you got to pay attention now. Like drop your hair down in your face, do the cool grunge thing, and like look at your neck for a minute because you got to play something. Like, Alone's one of those tracks that like the last chunk of the last chunk of that song, me and Zach have some really cool harmonizing between the bass and the guitar, and it kind of, like you were talking about, it melds between each other, and you can't tell what's bass and what's guitar. And that's one of those songs that I'm like, when we first started playing it, I was like, all right, I got to pay attention for this. And now I just like, I know it, and I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, and then like he'll play it, and like he'll play it one way the first time we play the part, and then the next time he'll play it a little different. So like that gives me a little more freedom to not just like play the notes exactly how I play them every time. Like on the album, I get to do a little bit more, like jazz it out a little bit. But like, nice. It's it's one of those things, man. Like I feel like we like it all meshes together real well. You know,
it does. No, it does. Cool. So the next question is kind of about your vocalist, and you mentioned John Garcia. So I'm about to mention that as well because I feel the same way. I love that he has this husky yet melodic kind of gruff tone. Like it's something that's very interesting. It reminds me a lot of early Garcia and Buzzo from the Melvins. Like if you mix the two of them together, that's the voice. Was that something you wanted? Did you want that kind of like melodic gruff voice?
So when I first met Mark, he was playing in a band that wanted him to be, they were going for like a very Zeppelin-y, like Crowbot kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And they wanted to pigeonhole him into that. And he's one of those guys vocally and lyrically, you got to give him freedom to do whatever he wants. And I saw him play, and like, I mean, this was the first conversation we ever had. I walked up to him after that one of their first shows. I walked up to him and I was like, hey man, my name's Braun. If you ever want to be in a band that's not that, like, come talk to me, because like, I feel like I've got a group of guys that'd be really good to let you just do exactly what you need to do. Vocally, Mark, to me, man, like I hear a lot of Shannon Hoon in Mark. Okay. I also hear like Rod Stewart in a weird way, just because he's got this like weird gravelly, like it is melodic, it is catchy, it is very hooky. Like with our songs, even from the first album to this album, like you hear a part and you're like, oh, that's the hook for the song, and then you hear the next part and you're like, is that the hook for the song? And then you hear the next part and you're like, no, this is the hook for the song. And it's like, it's kind of that whole Aerosmith mentality, like everything you do is a hook. And Mark's really good about like the way he composes his lyrics. Like he's really good about like everything he says, like people want to sing along to. So like, you know, when we play live, especially in places we've played before, we'll have a good amount of the crowd singing along with us, which is insane for a band in this genre to experience. It's insane to be in a band and experience that in general. Like, yeah, you might have one song or two songs, but we'll have people singing along to the whole set.
That's awesome.
Like, we'll have, especially before the new album came out, like we had some live videos kind of out there, and we would play a song live and then, you know, a month or two later play somewhere else, and like people would already know the song before it came out. Like people were singing Goddamn for like a few months now. Like we were playing it live, and like it's like people are singing the lyrics. Like this song's like out, man. Like what the fuck? Like
that's cool. No, awesome. Yeah, I can hear the small faces, Rod Stewart kind of vibe, especially in his voice. I don't disagree.
I always tell people to listen to Hot Legs.
Yeah.
Because like he just does this thing. And then like Mark's very like, he's a huge like Axl Rose fan.
Gotcha.
He's a really big Chris Cornell fan. He's a really big Kurt Cobain fan. Like, and then like he listens to a lot of stuff like Every Time I Die and things like that. So like there's a lot of these things that you hear elements of that he just kind of picks and chooses how he wants to deliver that with what we're doing. And he's never been in a heavy band before. Everything he's done before was more like that 70s rock revival kind of like we put bandanas in our back pockets and like we wear wallet chains and cowboy boots and like, I mean, you know, we still wear the cowboy boots because they just look cool. But like, I mean, we're also from Kentucky, so what else are you going to do?
No, I get it.
So
no, I get
show
it.
up a pair of lizard skin or snake skin boots and have a good time doing it.
Cool.
But yeah, man, and Mark's just one of those people like you meet people that like you're like, man, you were meant to be in a band. Cool. Like this is the only thing you were born and meant to do this. Like you were meant to like this was what like, and he was one of the first people that I met that was like, you're as rock and roll as I feel, man. Like this is a really cool like, you know, because like in the early days we'd get in a lot of trouble with each other, like fucking just hanging out, staying out too late, doing things we shouldn't be doing. Like, you know, we've over the past few years, we've kind of grown up a little bit, but we're still.
That's fair, man. That's fair.
Yeah.
So the next thing I want to talk about is a couple songs that really drew me to you. Like the reason why I want to do this interview. Yeah. So I'm going to start with the EP, first of all, the first record. And you already mentioned the song, so you kind of buzzkilled me a bit on it, but it's Rotten. And the reason why I say that, it is the first song I would ever play for someone to say, listen to Crop. If you like this, then you're going to like everything they do because you mix equal parts doom, grunge, and I'm going to use a dirty word that you may not love, but there's these shoegazing tones in your goddamn music that I love. So
yeah, I love some shoegaze, man. Like I don't, and like I love Hum and I love Failure. I'm really into Spotlights, and we're all into like me and the drummer are really into a lot of that kind of stuff. Like I said before, me and the drummer played in a post-rock band. So like we hit all of that shoegazy, and it was like an instrumental post-rock band where we were all young and wanted to show off every technical ability we had. Like, I mean, I was finger tapping bass parts. Like he was doing like Ghost Notey stuff. And Rotten's one of those songs I've always made the joke. It's the song Motley Crue wishes they could write now. And it's the hook in that. It's the Rotten can't stand the smell, loving you's killing myself. To me, I hear 80s glam metal when I hear that. And I always have. But that's one of those songs that like the rhythm's so dumb and the parts are so simple and everything's, but like it kind of makes the sound that we were going for, you know? And you know, even that, and then like a song like Shame Chamber or a song like Leave, they all have those same kind of elements. And like even the way we approach writing, especially the way Mark composes what he does over top of us, we're very like standard, like Beatles, like Nirvana format. Like we are intro, verse, chorus, bridge, which is our breakdown typically, and then we're chorus in. Like every song's almost in that format. And musically, it's not always. But lyrically and delivered, it comes back to that format a whole lot with us, and it's. But that's also like I think that's why people are connecting with it. It's a formula that's so familiar that it like you have a hard time not connecting with it, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas so many other people want to, what can we do that's different? What can we do that's weird? And it's like, what can we like? We're already weird. How can we tame it down a little bit? And that's really our approach with a lot of things is like what makes sense for the song, not what you want to play, not what you want to be, but like what makes sense to make this song the best song that we could write. And that's really where our mind's been and the whole endeavor of doing Crop.
Cool. So this is off the next record. So I picked one song off of each record that really spoke to me. It's Formaldehyde. And like the reason why I love that is there's that shoegaze element in this one, but on this new record, there's a lot of crusty overtones, and I love. So I'm 53, so I'm an old man in this world, right? Like
I'm 38. I'm not far behind you, man. Like I'm not young.
you remind me a lot of what like the Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area did in the 90s, early 2000s, where they mixed all those styles together.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard not to. I mean, we were all raised like with parents listening to music, and like all of us we all had like music's been our like the one addiction you can't kick your whole life. You just like you get it, and it is what it is. And I think that we do wear a lot of our influences really heavily, but I feel like the way it comes across is it's like you said, it's kind of hard. Like you can hear this and you hear this. They hear this, but they hear that. Somebody hears this and they hear this. And it's cool for me to hear people's other people's opinions, because like I was there when it was being written. I know where our mindset was. And then like as it's evolved, like my opinions of it have evolved also. But like a song like Formaldehyde, like like that first, like that feedback going in right before the bass kicks in, and then that bass tone, man, like when I recorded that, like the bass for most of that album, I was running 2 SVTs, I was running 2 810s. I had one where the gain was cranked and the volume was cut back, so it had this like natural, like overdriven, like SVT tone. And then the other one, I had the gain cut back, but I had a vintage tube screamer dimed, and I had it dimed. So like it had those tones, and then I had a clean output, so it could meld the cleans in with the dirty and then like the overdrive tone. And then typically when I play live, I don't really use a lot of pedals. Like I have a fuzz pedal that I use sometimes for like when Zach goes into a lead, and then like that feedback, I'm endorsed by Foul Sound, so like I have a Desert Rat pedal, and literally all I do is I kick it on and I put my bass up to the speakers and I get that feedback, and then I go into the part. And I kind of like that's my feedback pedal, and then I got a fuzz that I use just for a little kick in the ass, so he thickens the rhythm section while Zach's playing a lead. But yeah, and the other thing that's crazy about Formaldehyde, like when Mark was writing that, like he had the first part of what he was going to say when he said Formaldehyde. And he was like, he had the lines, and it was like, but he had a different line for Formaldehyde, and I was sitting there like singing it, and I was singing. I was like, man, it'd be really cool if you just like, and it's a weird influence that I'll compare to it, but it was like, to me, it was like kind of Alkaline Trio-y.
Okay.
And it was like, what if you just said a word that's the same cadence to that whole sentence? And he's like, what are you thinking? I was like, I'm thinking like the word Formaldehyde, because like so he was like, whatever he says in the beginning, he's like, he said Formaldehyde, and he's like, holy fuck, it works. And I was like, yeah. And then he came back into the room, and we laid it down, and he's just like, dude, that's awesome. Like, yeah, hell yeah. Like that's what we're going to do. But that's the same thing you're saying about influences. Like we all have so many crazy influences all over the place that to me, that sounds like Alkaline Trio. To you, it can sound like Oakland, like 90s, like whatever. And none of those are far off from each other, because a lot of those bands were around each other at the same time. Yeah. Stuff, So like that's kind of where it all boiled down with us on. So
no, absolutely cool. So the next thing I want to talk about is Third House Communication. Now, is this your label? Somebody else's label? Like, talk to me about this. So
I am a partner in Third House. There's 3 of us. There's the main original member. His name's Reagan. And Reagan had like 1 or 2 bands on Third House when I met him, and they hadn't released anything yet. And this guy like kept hitting me up, and he's like, hey man, I really want a copy of of Crop's album on vinyl. And I was like, well, we don't have them. We don't have the kind of money to do that. And he's like, I'll print 300 of them and give you half of them just so I can have one. And I was like, well, I don't want to sign a contract. And he's like, no, you're not, like, it won't get reprinted. Like, this is just a one-time, like, I want the record. I'm willing to put up the capital, get it. I'll give you half of them. I'll try to recoup my money off the other half, just like whatever. And since he came back, me and him went back and forth for like 6 months on this, because I was just like, I just didn't believe it. It was like too good to be true. I didn't believe it. And in that time frame of us going back and forth, like once we released our album and it came out with Third House, that first album, that first pressing, because that album been out for like 2 years before it ever got pressed. So like I was like, nobody's gonna want to buy it. It's 2 years old. Like we're already writing new stuff, you know. And we went through those copies fast. Like the first press was like, and I was just like, holy shit, people still like, oh, all right, cool. And then we started talking about doing the new album. Going into that, he was just like, man, you've helped me. Like I helped him with like getting She and getting Swamp Hawk and getting like all these other bands that we're friends with and we play with. And he kept joking around. He was like, you're the mouth in Third House. You're the dude bringing me bands. And I was just like, man, my dream job was always to do what Paul Rudd did in a Knocked Up. Like I just want to go to the Valley. I want to listen to some new band and I want to be like, you want a record deal, baby? Come on, let's go. Like, you know, that's like my dream job. And that's what I do with Third House is I'm like, you know,
nice
out kind of deal. And we're just like, you know, building up the label, building and all of us are learning as we go with this. It's very DIY. It's very, you know, just like we got some ideas. We want to execute it this way. Like, and even with the releasing Crops, I was like, I want to try to do this as professionally as possible. But from the DIY side, I don't like, I want to do PR, but I don't want to like overdo everything. I don't want to like pay for a bunch of ads. I want to make it feel like it's old school and organic as possible, but still utilizing the internet a little bit. And that was kind of the approach with doing Third House. I also run a music festival. The banner behind me.
Gotcha.
It says Legalize Lex. So I've got a music festival in Lexington, Kentucky. That's around 420 every year. And it's typically like 13 to 16 doom metal, stoner rock, desert rock, shoegaze bands. Like last year we had I had Astronaut, Temple the Fuzzwitch, Friendship Commanders, Low Pan, Horse Burner, us, and you know, a bunch of other really awesome local regional bands. And then the year before it was a bunch of regional bands and like Howling Giant was on it. Next year I've got an insane lineup already booked. Like it's booked. It's not happening until next April, and it's already done. And then I also booked for a bar in town. I booked for a bar called Al's Bar. And for that I book country, I book indie rock, I book doom stuff, I book like thrash metal, I book singer-songwriter nights, I book comedy nights. I'm the guy that runs the calendar for that.
Very cool. Yeah.
I do all kinds of things. Like I'm just always doing stuff, and only like one of them pays me, and that's my day job. So
that's cool. I was just gonna say, like, Low Pan is one of the most underrated bands in the world, and I don't know how the hell they aren't like a huge national act, because every time I hear their records, they blow me away.
Oh, that new record was awesome.
Oh my god, it's amazing. Like I just don't understand how they are not. I don't understand how they're not the Foo Fighter level. Like that's how good they are. So.
Man, people just don't fucking care.
I guess.
You know, like, and like, I mean, there's a lot of bands. Like to me, I feel like the band Friendship Commanders has a lot of potential to break through, and like they're a band that could be on tour with Paramore. You know, like they're one of those bands that like they could be huge. They could be playing these amphitheaters and they could be doing it on their own and not need to be support for a band like that. And it's just like big labels and big opportunities like that don't come to bands anymore.
Right.
They're more concerned with a single artist that's not, you know, and bands like that can still do it, but the road to it's a lot longer than it used to be.
No, I agree. One of my best friends, he's a higher up in Red Bull Records, and he literally said to me, he gets to sign one band he loves and 10 bands he doesn't. Like that's the way it always is. So
and you see that band he loves, man, there's probably fucking 50 of them right now, you know? And it depends on the release in the day and everything like that. Like, I mean, you know, and it's hard to be in a band that tours and goes out because like you don't make a lot of money doing it. Like you like, you know, for us, we're lucky. Like we can go out and we can like, you know, we'll make enough money to like pay for gas and pay for hotel rooms sometimes. And like the merch basically just like buys merch again, and I mean,
Yeah, it lets you survive. That's basically what it does. Yeah,
it's a real tight budget, man, but it's one of those things that we all love to do it, and we all kind of treat it like it's like it's a fun time out with the boys, and we get to go have a fun time, and we get to get away from our wives for a little bit, and we just get to act like we're 19-year-olds for a week or 2 or 3 or however long we're out for. Sure. But when we come back that next Monday, man, you walk into work and you're just like, and that transition's what nobody talks about. And it is the hardest one, is to walk back into your day job and be like, man, I was so rock and roll last night, and now I'm back here doing, insert random thing that we do.
Right. No, I get you.
But I'm lucky enough to have a day job that lets me kind of do this and be myself. And I don't I don't have to act or dress a certain way. I just they hired me for my mind, and I just go in and do it. And cool. I get to be the long-haired, crazy, tattooed guy that I want to be. So
very awesome. So the next thing I kind of want to talk about is I got your record from C Squared Music. I've known them for years. Do you feel like today that all you really need is good PR? Because there's not real radio, there's not real streaming, there's no way to get a video mass viewed for this kind of music. Do you think
I think our video's at 200 views right now that we dropped.
So is PR the best way to do this?
This is our first attempt with it, and I just figured, why not give it a shot? And we had other buddies that had used C Square, New Curtis and them, and they were kind of at the top of the list of people we wanted to work with. And they had the time to be able to do it, and it all worked out. And that was something that we that Third House arranged, and that like I said, we wanted to approach this album as properly as you could do a release, not knowing what you're doing. And I feel like we did a good job. I feel like we've got a lot. I mean, I've got people hitting us up. I've done interviews, and we have people all over the world right now, listening and streaming. So for that's awesome. We'll see, and whenever the cycle bends around, and we'll see what the actual numbers are and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I don't really care about numbers, man. I'm not paying attention to we're not Taylor Swift. I'm not going to have 85 million people listening to my album on Spotify. I'm never going to have a single that has 1.4 billion streams. If I could hit around 10,000, that would be cool. Hell, if I could hit around 1,000, that would be great.
Right.
I just feel like the bar's so low for the underground heavy scene that success has to be defined by what you want it to be, and where you're at and what you're trying to get out of it. And then everything outside of that, man, you'll play with some of these really big bands, and on a Tuesday, and fucking 30 people show up, man. And then we'll do a headliner on our own in our hometown, and 200 people show up. But then we'll go play insert random city for 12. The next night we'll go somewhere else that we've never played, and 120 people show up. It's never you can't gauge it, man. You can't. You just got to be in it because you love to do it. And then when it's cool, it's cool.
Cool. No, awesome. The next thing I was going to kind of say is, again, I'm an old man, so when I think of Louisville, Kentucky, I think of bands like Slint, Rodan. I think of bands like Panopticon, things that I have been listening to for years. Yeah. I know you're more of a northern state, but to me, it has that southern kind of Americana vibe in all the bands that are from there. So can you kind of talk to me, Kentucky or just Louisville in general has this really interesting vibe with the bands that are there?
I feel like Kentucky's the most northern state you can be in and still be southern.
Okay.
Now, when you go to Eastern, so Louisville's a different, we're from Lexington, so it's 45 minutes east from Louisville. But if you go 45 minutes east from us, you're in the Appalachian Mountains. Mm-hmm. So you're where porch picking music was invented, man. You're dudes down there in doom metal bands play banjo on their fucking front porch regularly. That. It's just it is it's a normal thing, and I feel we're oversaturated with Appalachian music and the Nashville sound.
Okay.
Everybody that's an artist here not everybody, but the majority of artists here are trying to achieve. They either want to be the next Tyler Childers and they want to sound like Tyler Childers 10 years ago, or they want to be the next insert random big like organic country artist here, or they're playing bluegrass, or they're playing like stuff like that. And there's a lot of love for that here, but there's a big oversaturation for that here. And then you get a band like us that pops up, and the people that don't like that fucking love us. My thing with going into Crop was like, I always use the Clutch comparison. Like,
Sure.
you will go to a local show and you'll have 40 people in the room, but you'll go see Clutch in the same city and you'll have 1,000 people in the room. All those people are wearing Clutch shirts. They're all going to blue collar job sites. Why aren't they coming to local shows? And there's a disconnect between them looking for new upcoming bands, and they just love Clutch, and that's all they want to do. Clutch is like the Grateful Dead of like.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say they're the granddads of dad rock. Like,
yeah, and they really are. And I love Clutch. I personally love Clutch, but like, it's one of those things that like you have to stand out to those fans because they're so diehard with Clutch. But like for a band like us, when Clutch comes through, we're not going to get a spot opening for them. Like it's like that's a tour support show that's been booked out by management. They have booking agents that have their hand in the pot for all of it. They're not going to give a local support a chance to ever do anything like that because insert random booking agent doesn't get his 20% cut. And that's what it boils down to. And that's fine. But I will be the guy outside that show handing out handbills trying to get like 12 of those motherfuckers to come to my fucking show. So I've been doing this thing lately. We're endorsed by the One Condom brand, and they send us these like tins, these like metal tins, and they're really good to put weed in. But they have 2 condoms in it. So when I go to shows like that, I take a handful of them with me and I hand them out to people. I'm like, dude, I don't care what you do with the condoms. You can use them, you cannot, but you can put your drugs in this when you're done. And that's just, but it's got our logo on the back of it. And like, maybe they'll go check us out, you know, like, and like, but I'm still that person that like, I don't rely on social media. I print handbills, I print flyers, I print posters, I put them up in bars and pizza places and tattoo shops and all the places that people like us go to. I try to put Crop in their face as much as possible because that I feel like that's the only real honest way for people to get any sort of like of brand recognition or name recognition is they have to see it over and over and over again. And then maybe after the 10th time they see it, they're like, okay, what is like every time I see a cool flyer or a poster, it's got this like this logo on it. What is this? And maybe they'll go see it, or maybe they just ignore it. I don't know, man. But like, you know, we got something here because man, the Facebook and Instagram and all that is not helpful tools for bands like us. They want your money. They don't want to give you the promotion for it. And then even if you pay them for that kind of promotion, like really you're only good, like, you know, if a band has 2,000 followers on social media, when you post, they're only letting 10% of that see it. And in reality, they're only really letting like 4 or 5% see it. So like the fact that they've got it so wrangled down that the people that even follow you don't get to see what you post is a whole other thing. And then when you pay for an ad, it doesn't go to your fans. It goes to whoever they want to broadcast. Right. Well, half of that's bots and bullshit. Like, it doesn't matter, you know? Like, yeah, I mean, I could pay a guy to get 20,000 plays on Spotify, but I still only got 1,500 people that like me on Instagram. Right. Like, and if those numbers don't match, they don't match. So I would rather show up with honest numbers and be an honest band about it than to play the numbers game so I can try to get on bigger stuff and do whatever.
Oh,
we will get cool opportunities based off of our sound and who we are before I ever try to get cool opportunities being fake as fuck. Because I'm just
I absolutely get it. Like, I'll do interviews with bands and I'll never crack 1,000 views. Like, I'll get 300 to 500 views constantly, and I'll get people, hey, I love what you do. I love what you do. And it's the core people that care about the music. Like, they go to live shows, they do stuff. It's the same. You know, my band is a noise rock band. Like, it's industrial noise. Like, you know, when I sell 300 records, I get ecstatic because I can't believe there's 300 people out there that dig what I do, and then I get feedback. But that's the most important. It's not about selling 20,000. I agree. It's not about having 20,000 fans, because our kind of music, whatever we do, is underground, and that's what it's supposed to be. Now, if we get the accolade, or some bigger band loves us and wants us to put on a show with them, or wants to talk about us, awesome, great. But if there weren't people like you and I, this kind of music would be dead in the water right now.
Yeah, I know for sure. There was like a post recently by Todd Severin from Ripple Music.
Yeah,
and he's always posting, his opinions or his takes. But he had a post like, "What can we do to get the younger kids into this music?" And I made a comment. And I'm just like, man, honestly, this music's not for young kids. It's not like this music is for beat down, aggravated 30-somethings and above that are just so over and so jaded by everything that's been spoon-fed to them by their whole life. They've all worked hard. They all want to be somewhere. And then at the end of the day, they lose their fucking job. They lose their house. They're renting an apartment for triple what their house costed before. And they're just stuck in the system that's not here to benefit us. And that's who this music's for. Like, and that's who we're writing the music for. We're not writing this music for some happy-go-lucky fucking 17-year-old. No. There's plenty of pop music out there for them. This is for us, and that's who it's for. And if there's some younger kids, and there are some that like it and connect to it, because there are always going to be those older souls that kind of find where they need to be in life earlier than a lot of people. But it's like, I'm not here trying to sweet talk some 18-year-olds into loving my fucking band. And honestly, I don't want to hang out with 21-year-olds. I don't even want to be around them. No. Like, I don't have the patience, mentality, or anything to try to even be cool for those people. Right. I would rather be around people like us and kind of get in love for what's going on.
No, very cool. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I got one last question for you before I'm going to wrap this up, and it's kind of a thinking man's question. So I hope you dig this. If one band or artist could take one of your songs and make it their own, who would it be and why?
I would want, and we're talking like ginormously large artists that it doesn't make sense, right?
I don't give a shit. Somebody that you absolutely love. They don't have to be big. They don't have to be small. They can be anything. An artist that you think could make Crop's music even more interesting.
I would want to hear Youngblood do NA.
Okay.
I would want to hear Youngblood do NA, but do it in his style with his production behind it and make it something completely and utterly different. Nice. And the reason is I feel like the hooks and melodies in our songs could transpose into something like that and be perceived completely different. Also, I want to prove that no matter what happens, my bass lines would probably stay pretty much the same.
There you go. There you go. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the last couple minutes here for you to talk about what's coming up with the band, what's going on. Tell us a little bit about what's happening.
Yeah, so starting Wednesday, we leave Lexington at 8:00 in the morning. We're heading to Youngstown, Ohio at the West Side Bowl. We're going to be opening for the Mighty Conan.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the next night we're in Pittsburgh. So I think maybe is that 27th on Wednesday?
Yep.
Yeah. So the 27th we're Youngstown, Ohio with Conan. On the 28th we're in Pittsburgh at Squirrel Hill Sports Bar. The next night we're in Swarthmore, PA, right outside of Philly at Warehouse 3. The following night, the 30th, we're in somewhere outside of Boston, and we're playing RPM Fest. I think we're playing with Midnight and Pool and some other bands, and it's going to be freaking awesome. Our homies in Comahoe are playing that night. The band Spitter's playing that day. And then the next night, we're in Baltimore at the Depot across the street from the Conan show that night. So if you're at the Conan show and you don't like the openers, come check Crop out. Walk across the street, check us out, and then go watch Conan. I swear you won't be disappointed. Cool. And then we've got a festival in Knoxville coming up right after that. And then we've got some runs that are here and there, and we got stuff booked to the end of the year. I'm actually booking next spring now, so we're going to be hitting the road. I would like to get out west. You said you're in Vegas, right?
Yes, I am.
I lived in Vegas for 2 years when I was 21 years old. And I was a manager of a skate shop in the mall, on the bad end of town, whatever the bad end of town is, where the mall is, whatever that mall's.
I literally just moved here 4 months ago, so I don't know. I don't know the area very well, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. So you're talking about the old side of Vegas. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like you get past the spaghetti bowl and like you go further down. But I lived on the other end, on top of the mountain, before you got to Boulder City. I think
Nice.
Boulder. But I was like Las Vegas exit before Boulder City. There's probably more exits there now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we got some stuff coming up. If you're around, come check it out.
I will.
Maybe next year we can make our way out to you.
I would love it. I would absolutely love it, man.
There's some rocking bands out your way. Sonolith's real cool, and
there's a lot of good music out here. There's a bigger scene than people think. So like, especially in the Phoenix, Vegas area, there's a lot of bands. So, but yeah, no, I was just gonna say thank you for doing this with me. Like, I love your 2 records. People need to support this kind of music because I think they think it's super heavy and there's no groove or no feeling to it.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is the music, like this kind of music, has more feeling than most music does today. Like, and you got to understand, like, it's guys putting their blood, sweat, and tears and their souls in this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like, thank you for doing this. Like,
Anytime,
if you do come out to Vegas, man, I will absolutely come see you. I literally just hung out with Bobby from 16 and did an interview with him out there. Like, I love to come hang out and watch, live bands and stuff. But other than that, good luck on your tour. Like I said, the new record is absolutely phenomenal. People are goddamn idiots if they don't listen to it and get it. So
hopefully we get some people addicted. All that's
Cool.
that's all for a reason. So
yeah, no, cool, man. Well, thank you again for this, Braun. I totally appreciate it, and best of luck with Crop and everything that's going on.
yeah, for sure. You have a good day, man.
Thanks, buddy.